In that time, I didn't know what was peace about. But all the moments during my prayers, the adults in my family were very happy seeing me praying. They were congratulating me, saying, "Excellent, Nadia, we hope one day peace finally arrive." Even though my country was suffering from war, our daily life was normal. My father had a job. Women enjoyed their freedom, their rights. I could go to the school and play with my brothers and sisters very happily. So the word of war, it was something very distant for me. I never thought it will touch me or my family. One evening, we held a dinner at home. We had invited guests. In Afghanistan, our tradition is that we offer tea after lunch or dinner for our guests. So my mother went to the kitchen to prepare the tea and bring the usual sweets we used to offer with tea. In that moment, I was 8 years old. Being very curious girl, I just follow my mother in order to discover where she is hiding the sweets. When she saw me that I am following her, she said, "Nadia, sit down here in this room. I will bring you some sweets." So I remember my mother leaving that room. And then suddenly, a bomb fell exactly in that room where I was. Everything changed in a second. I was so heavily burned by that bomb that I ended up 6 months in coma and during 2 years in different hospitals. When I discharged from hospital, I realized that war not only destroyed my school, my neighborhood, my house, the war also destroyed the mentality of the people, the behavior of the people, the way the people were thinking. Everything was totally changed and unrecognizable for me. For those people, that education was something very important for them and for their families or for their children. After civil war and during the Taliban regime, education was not an important aspect in their lives. Those parents that they want good education for their children after the war, they forced their underage daughter to get married with the first man which come alone, whereas the same parents get married with love. For me, everything was that much changed that I couldn't recognize even though my own family, the family that I had, that they were living, enjoying together very happily, was almost gone. My eldest brother has been killed. My father was suffering from post-traumatic stress. I didn't know what to do. I just flee from the city to refugee camp with my family. In that moment, the Taliban regime was established. As you all know, Taliban is a fanatic group of people that they use the name of the religious, the weapons, to put all the terrorists as a forced people and destroy my country by the name of religious. So it comes in my mind some of their absurd rules that they had. One of them was listening to music was a big sin, watching a movie, going to school, even though you couldn't shave yourself. Everything was a sin for them. And sometimes it caused the sinners they put them in the prisons or simply they lose their lives. Other rules that they had is women can't go to study, women can't work, women can't go out of their home alone. In my case, I didn't know what to do. I was only 11 years old. My father was sick, my brother was not with us anymore, so I was like, what should we do if we women can't go out of their home? Who will provide us food? Who will help us? So I thought, okay. If women can't work, only men can. So only today, Only today I will dress up as a man and I will go to work for one day to provide food for my family. Tomorrow will be different. Tomorrow I can turn back to Nadia and continue my normal life. So by the hope of tomorrow, this one day followed the following 10 years. During the 10 years, I was dressing as a man to help in order to provide food for my family, work. In that moment, as you can see in the image, the women had to wear burqa. So I was working as a man, wearing a traditional dress, and that was the way that I could survive and live my life. In the beginning, it was not very difficult because if you see and think, the children are very similar. There is not a lot of difference when I was 11 years old. But by the time I was growing up, the things changed. So I couldn't hide anymore myself. I had to move from one city to another city in order to keep my secret and help my family. With a lot of difficulties, with a lot of problems, by the help of non-profit organization, I arrived to Spain for medical treatment. My good luck is not arrive to Spain or receive that medical treatment. Above all, I was welcomed by a Catalan family that later on they become my own family. My Catalan parents. When I arrived to their house, I was already 21 years old. But for them, my age didn't matter. The color of my skin, the fact being Muslim, for them the most important thing was humanity. They took me to their house and they gave me all the possibilities that I needed. I remember my first day in my Catalan parents' home. They took me to their house. It is true that there is a lot of cultural shock. So I arrived to my Catalan parents' home. It was lunchtime, my first day after the hospital. When I arrived there, we sit down for lunch. In Afghanistan, in our tradition, when someone offers you food, you can't say, I like it or I don't like. You have to eat whatever they give you because they will give you the best. So my parents also offered me their best. They offered the seafood. In Afghanistan, we don't have sea, so I didn't know what was that, and I didn't like it. But anyway, I said, what I did is close my eyes, and I eat it as fast as I could. My parents look at each other, and they say, oh, she liked a lot, and they put more for me. I turned back and eat it as fast as I could. And then they said, oh, Nadia, we know it's your favorite dish, but we don't have any more today. Maybe next day we will cook for you. On that time when I arrived to Spain, I was not Nadia standing in front of you and talking about my life. I was not able to talk even though 2 words. If someone were asking me, where are you from? I was not able to answer where I am from, what happened to my life, and how I arrived to Spain. I was completely lost, and I was just hiding myself, and I was not able to speak 2 words. But thanks from this family. They gave me strength, they gave me hope, they stand beside of me that I could follow my dreams and study and get good education. So one day my Catalan mother asked me, Nadia, what do you want to study? I said, computer science. I don't know why, but for me it was very important because technology helps you. In that moment, I couldn't speak Catalan and Spanish, only I could speak a little bit English. So I remember my first day in my computer classes. The course supposed to start 1 September at 8 a.m. I was there at 6 a.m. waiting. Hopefully they will open a little bit early. Hopefully they will open a little bit early. But no, they open as usual at 8 o'clock. So I just jumped to enter in my classes, and when I see all those chairs, computers, tables. I was so shocked, and I was jumping from one place to another place, shouting. My classmates were worried about me. She's crazy somehow or what? But believe me, I was not crazy. I was just surprised to see all the possibilities they had. And then it was turned that the student had to present themselves, where they're from and what they are doing. When it was my turn, I started to present myself. I said, my name is Nadia. I'm from Afghanistan. Everybody looked at me and they said, Afghanistan, yes, we know. Taliban, Osama bin Laden, war, burqa. Others who sitting behind me, they shout, marijuana, drugs. Oh my God, which kind of news, which kind of headlines are arriving in this country with all the possibilities they have in their hands? So I thought, I hope I could explain them about my country. Afghanistan is not only war that you perceive and coming from with headlines. There is a lot of lives. There is thousands and thousands of people like me that from childhood they are starting to pray for peace until they die, and they don't see where and when will come peace in my country. We are suffering from war over the 40 years. I wanted to explain a lot about my country, but in that moment I didn't have possibilities because I didn't know the language. Later on, by help of co-writers, I managed to publish 3 books about my life. My first book is about my experience as a man in Afghanistan during that 10 years that I mentioned before. How I lived there, which kind of challenges I was facing day by day, because I worked very hard, digging well, construction, working in a formal land, things like that, which was very hard for a woman. But I was not like a simple woman. I had a lot of injuries in my body, and I had to manage and work with all that injuries, but people didn't discover my secret. My second book deals with Afghan traditional tales, which my mother were explaining me while I was in the hospital. It was part of my medicine, because during the war, people don't have even though doctors and medicine. So my mother was my doctor, and his tales were my medicine. My third book deals with my turn back to Afghanistan, see the other women's lives around me, those women that, as a man, I couldn't experience their life, how was there, because how they were suffering, because I could take my bicycle and go around, but other women, how was their life? I start to talk about them in my third book. After coming back from Afghanistan, I saw that I am not the only Nadia that I suffer in Afghanistan with all these difficulties. There is 1,000 Nadias that they are suffering also in Afghanistan. That I had to do something for them, because in my country, there is people, they have dream, and their dream is only one day attend to school, but they don't have possibility. For this reason, I create a non-profit organization, which is called Bridges for Peace, that it is, I created for those women, for those children that they dream to get education. Because my country, Afghanistan, we don't need soldiers, we don't need weapons, we need people, teachers, professionals, scientists to help us to get peace. In this world, we arrive very far away. We can move until moon, but we are not able to bring peace in the world. Yes, we can. But why we're not doing? Because we feel like someone else should do it. Weapons and war, fighting with each other, don't bring peace in the world. Education, knowledge, technology, that computer science that I had in class in Spain, those things can bring peace. Those things can bring change in our minds. Because when I arrived to Spain, I didn't know that in Spain there is people, or in the world there is people that they think like me. They wish peace. I thought all the other countries want war. That's why a lot of bomb is falling in my country. But then I found out that no, I'm not alone. There is thousands and thousands, millions of people around the world that also they have the same dream as me, peace in the world. So why we don't bring peace through education? Because the future generations, they need education. There is 1,000 girls, they dream to go out of their home without fear. One day, they could go to attend the school. That's why this non-profit organization I create is helping those families, those children that they can't attend to school, in order that provide them material for school and go. And it's very important. I know in this moment there is a lot of people in the world that they want to do something for peace, and the key is education. I wish all of us work for education and knowledge to make a change in the world. Thank you.